Alright, we have another Peasant Cube. Now, interesting, Aetherize was our first slot last time. Now I know I've been drafting a lot of blue, but there's a Preordain in this pack. And Preordain is so good. How often do you get to play with really good cantrips, right? I'm going to take the Preordain, and we'll see what happens, I think. We could take Prismatic Strands, but like, Preordain. Alright, so in this pack we have Honden of Infinite Rage, Shadow Mage Infiltrator, Bastion of Remembrance, and Simic Signet. I think Shadow Mage Infiltrator is the best card here. I did just draft Dimir, but like we didn't do very well, so maybe this is the redemption arc already. Bastion of Remembrance, I do want to try the Aristocrats deck, and Honden of Infinite Rage, I do want to try the Honden deck because it seems really fun. But we're gonna play, we're gonna take Shadow Mage Infiltrator, and we might end up where almost certainly I should correct myself, going to play Dimir again. I'm in the middle of a pre-recording session, so I may not post these in order just for the sake of variety, but okay, Blood for Bones is insane, and Dinrova Horror is excellent as far as like top end goes, especially in like the Dimir grindy like attrition deck. I'm gonna take Dinrova Horror. So I guess that's true. I guess the Peasant cubes I record, or any cubes I record, don't necessarily have to be in order. I just, up until this point, I haven't had time to record more than one at a time. So for the most part, you've seen all of the cubes I've done. And you've seen them in the order I've played them. But if I draft like a Dimir deck, and I draft the Dimir deck, and I draft the Dimir deck, then maybe, you know, if I draft some other decks, I'll play them, I'll post them in between, so that you don't have to suffer through the same strategy every single time. Okay, so Vampire Envoy, 3 mana for 1/4, whenever it attacks you gain 1 life. Or whenever it becomes tapped you gain 1 life. Murderous Redcap, it's just a good attrition creature, shocks something when it enters and has persist. Or Rupture Spire. I think we take Rupture Spire. It opens up the possibility of splashing, as well as it can just fix mana if even if we're playing Dimir. Ulamog's Krasha. I love it. This is like the ultimate fat creature in this format. I mean, there's also the Artisan of Kozilek that does a whole bunch, but Ulamog's Crusher. Seeker of the Way and Swift Reckoning are interesting. Tidings is a little slow for what we're trying to do. Angel of Despair would be sweet, but I don't really want to play white if I can avoid it, so we're going to take the Krasha. Alright, triple black, exile a creature, or our options are Thraben Gargoyle, Suffer the Past, or Treasure Keeper. I think Unmake is really strong. Triple black might be kind of hard, but it's going to depend on our fixing. And I guess if we have to splash white, Unmake is not the worst thing to have in your deck. Alright, Gurmag Angler. Could be good if we get more cantrips, or more low-drop instants and sorceries and ways to fill the grave. Incremental Blight is not as good as Cone of Flame. I guess we take the Gurmag. Alright, Putrid Goblin. It's more of an Aristocrats card than a card for our deck. There's Battle Screech. And I guess Living Lore. But Living Lore is good when you have big spells, and we do not have big spells. I guess we take the Goblin. I'm not thrilled about it. In fact, I'm going to look for any reason pretty much not to play it. Dead Drop. I love this card. Double Edict. And like for... it's basically 5 mana, or exile 5 cards from your grave, and 4 mana just Barter and Blood, but only your opponent has to. It's a very, very strong effect. Moan of the Unhallowed. Honden of Infinite Rage came all the way around. Which meant nobody was thrilled to have it. Moan of the Unhallowed is the card for our deck. But Honden of Infinite Rage is fun. Well, we'll take Moan of the Unhallowed. There'll be another time. Corrosive Gale for the side. Snare Thopter or Vampire Envoy. I guess we'll take the Vampire Envoy. Okay. We're going to be looking for fixing, 2 drops, ramp, and other good Dimir cards. I guess we're not playing any of these. Same here. And probably not playing that one either. Alright, so somebody else is definitely doing the same thing we are. Alright, Crumbling Necropolis. In the same pack as Snuff Out, Mana War, Condescend, and Wretched Griff. I'm gonna take Crumbling Necropolis, just because not having enough fixing has bitten me plenty of times in this cube. We're definitely playing black, and we're definitely playing blue. Having the option to play red might be nice. So, take the Necropolis. We do have a Rupture Spire as well, so a couple more Tri-lands, and who knows what we'll be playing. Barter in Blood, Consigned to Oblivion, Demonic Tutor. Wow. And Azorius Signet. So Barter in Blood effects are nuts. This is one of my favorite cards to play in Standard. Demonic Tutor is just, well, I mean, it's Demonic Tutor. You go get your best card. Consigned to Oblivion is a great attrition card. And of course, Azorius Signet is ramp. And we have nothing to play on too, and this is technically on color. Ugh. I think we gotta take the Tutor. was one of the strongest cards in the game for a reason. Okay, in this pack we have Far and Away? Far and Away is in this cube? That's a very strong card. Chillbringer, Carrion Feeder, like even Fate Stitcher. None of these things are like really thrilling, but Far and Away is what this deck wants to be doing. Having the option for a bouncer and Edict is great, especially because it's like you can answer a large token, or you can answer both. Especially with the Fuse. The Fuse is what makes it fantastic. Okay. Ravenous Chupacabra is awesome. I would consider a Scoured Barrens, but like, got Chups. Alright. Savage Lands, not really in her colors. Watcher for Tomorrow is interesting. Vampire Sovereign is good, but I think we gotta take the Watcher. It's a 2-mana 2/1 that draws a card. That is a 2-mana 2/1 that impulses when he dies, effectively, which is pretty freaking sweet. Alright, in this pack, I think we gotta go Him. Him's just too strong, even over Read the Bones. Alright, we got Treasure Hunt, Bileblight, Field of Ruin, Grave Upheaval. So Grave Upheaval is interesting because it can search for a basic land. We do have a Crumbling Necropolis and a Rupture Spire to splash the actual full cost. I think this is worth playing. Bileblight, good versus tokens, but not sure. After the last time I used it, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think there's a lot of cards that will outclass it. We got a Bane of Balaged, which has Exilinator. Which, I mean, that might be fun to play end of the game with, right? We just play like a mediocre amount of interaction between 1 and 5, and then we just start casting 6, 7, and 8 drops. Yeah, let's do it. Let's try and like take this guy and then pick up a bunch of signets and things. Electrolyze, not really. Snuff out, sure. Barter in Blood or Consign to Oblivion. I think I gotta take the Barter in Blood. If you have no creatures on the board and this is a double Edict, your opponent is going to be very sad. I think I prefer the instant speed interaction, though, actually. I take back what I said. Breaker of Armies I'll take, but we're not playing. Death Sprout is interesting. It is potentially ramp. So if, like, we passed Savage Lands, but there are other tap lands we can take, especially the Vivid lands that would let us splash a Death Sprout, which could be very strong in our deck. And we get a Flame Jab as our force. Okay, Annihilate Blood Artist, Dimir Guildmage, Forbidden Alchemy. There's a Gruul Turf. Dimir Guildmage is very strong. I like Annihilate. I'm not sure this is the deck for it. We should probably take Prismatic Lens. We have a few good 4 plays. 4 drops. Probably the word I should use instead of whatever the hell I said. This is Tired Kano speaking. Hi. We'll take Prismatic Lens. The bounce land is interesting. It is our off colors. It's both of our off colors, but like, we'll take Prismatic Lens. Okay, Treasure Cruise. I don't know if we can play a Treasure Cruise. I mean, of course we can, but I think Hedron's Eye, or Hedron's Archive, or Pilgrim's Eye. I just combined the two in my head. This is going to be a very interesting draft, everybody. I'm going to take Hedron Archive. Okay, Rot Farm is good in our deck. I will definitely take a Rot Farm. Jungle Shrine, not really, I don't think. It's red or green, once again are off colors, but Pristine Talisman is ramp, and also gaining life. Kind of sad I have to pass Enslave and Banewhip Punisher here. We'll play a Pristine Talisman. Ancient Excavation. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand, then discard a card for each card drawn this way. Interesting. Dismiss, I don't think we can play. We're not heavy enough blue for that. Murderous Cut would be great. I think Orzhov Basilica is actually better, though, because for the same reason that we're trying to get to, like, really high-cost cards. It might help us cast Unmake as well. Yeah, we're going to take it. Oh, gosh. Artisan of Kozilek. So our options are Artisan of Kozilek, Plaguecrafter, Migratory Route, or Ash Barrens. We probably do not need that much fixing. Kind of transitioned into, like, I don't know what we've transitioned into, but I'm taking Artisan of Kozilek. Okay, Rakdos Carnarium or Skittering Surveyor. We have 21 playable cards. We have a few more playable in the sideboard. I'm going to take the Carnarium. Ribbons of Night. 4 damage to target creature, and you gain 4 life. If blue is spent on this spell, draw a card. That seems excellent in our deck. So I'm going to take Ribbons of Night. That seems like a really good removal spell. We have 22 playable cards, so if we just get enough lands and fixing and ramp, this should be fine. We should make it to casting big, nasty Eldrazi. Okay, Annihilate, Ether Rot Page. That actually seems kind of good. But, like, I think we just Forbidden Alchemy. Yeah. We're kind of light on low drops. I think we're running Leyline Prowler. I'll take a Rogue's Passage. I don't think I can play it, but I will take it. Terminate is good. We can take a Terminate. We have 3 ways to splash a red spell. Technically 4 if we have green, 5 if we have Death Sprout. Actually, I'm kind of liking this. Because that's not counting like Prismatic Lens. We can basic land cycle off of Grave Upheaval. That's we have Grave Upheaval and Forbidden Alchemy. That's pretty sweet. We can take Enslave, or we can take Grow from the Ashes. How are we doing on removal? 1, 2, 3. We're probably fine on removal. I'm going to take the ramp. This does make green a more important color, though. Kind of wish I'd taken that Savage Lands. Ancient Excavation is interesting as well. Stagger Shock if we need more removal. This is going to be a weird deck. This is like 4-color mono black. So whether or not we win or lose is basically going to be determined by whether or not our opponent has removal for our big boys, or is fast enough to outspeed whatever we're trying to do. And both of those are possible, and perhaps even probable. But, like, I don't know. Seems like this might be fun. Alright, let's make some cuts. We need to cut 3, potentially 4 cards. We're not playing Mona the Unhallowed. I really like the basic land cycling in this deck. I have a feeling it's going to be extremely necessary. I think Watcher for tomorrow is probably our worst creature, which is awkward because we only have like 8. Far and Away is good removal. We have a lot of removal, and I'm good with this. Need to cut 1 card. What card are we going to cut? It might need to be Unmake. Yeah, I think it's Unmake. I think the color requirement of that is just too heavy. Okay, so with this setup we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 potential red sources, counting basic land cycling. Oh, 10. Blue, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 again? Alright. And then green is probably 11. Alright. I actually think this will work. Ooh, actually, I think I want Bituminous Blast in here over one of our worst removal spells. I think I want it over Consign to Oblivion, because Consign to Oblivion is for like a much grindier deck. If we need to start yeeting permanents back to our opponent's hand, it means we're just delaying and stalling probably the inevitable. So let's try this out. This seems fun. We might reanimate things, we might ramp to big Eldrazi. Either way, stuff's going down. Alright, we'll play first. I can work with this. Start swamp. Pass the turn. Either way, this is a turn 3 Rupture Spire. Turn 3 Hymn to Turok off of Rupture Spire. Excuse me. Yeah, we're probably going to have to snuff that Delver right out, I think. We're going to play Rupture Spire. Pay the 1. Kill the Delver. Pass the turn. Opponent's going to play a Mountain. Suspend Riftwing Cloudscape. We draw Preordain. So let's Hymn to Turok. Opponent discards Treasure Cruise, Compulsive Research. Orzhov Basilica are swamped back to hand. Okay, Cloudscape's got 2 turns till it comes down. If our opponent plays a creature, which they did not. Okay, play a swamp. Play Hedron Archive. Pass the turn. We untap, we draw Ribbons of Night. Kick Grow from the Ashes. Get a forest and an island. Oh, and they come in untapped. Sweet. Preordain. Ulamog's Crusher. I want both of these. How much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And our opponent is going to bounce one of them. So we need to draw the 7 drop. Okay. If we cycle Grave Up, if our opponent bounces Orzhov Basilica or Hedron Archive like they should, we could cycle Grave Upheaval, get a basic land, and play Bane of Balaged this turn. But I think I would rather just draw Crusher. Okay, opponent plays a Vivid Crag. Gets in for 2, takes us to 14. We draw Crusher. Death Sprout. Get a Swamp. Play Basilica. Bounce a Swamp to... I mean, they just sped up our claw. Play Carnarium. Opponent gonna make us discard a Swamp. So they have to answer this. They play Crater Maker. Let's just go ahead and cast Grave Upheaval. Give this bad boy haste. And go to combat. 2. Must attack. It draws a card, so they can sacrifice sacrifice Honden and Sunset. Play Shadow Mage. Opponent plays a Mountain. Volition Ring. Just gain control of it permanently, and that's an uncommon? What the hell? Actually block, yes. Untap and draw Ravenous Chupacabra. So we can play Bane of Balaged, or we can kill our own Crusher. I think we have to kill our own Crusher. Here I'd thought that we had won this game. Alright, we draw a Swamp. Go ahead and kill Thief. But they're not really playing spells of too much consequence. Draw Crumbling. So go to combat. Play Bane of Balaged. Opponent's Soul Minute. Pick up a Swamp. Pass the turn. We're going to have to get our Artisan of Kozilek out. Replays Crater Maker. Draw. Play Crumbling. Go to combat. We could save our Ravaging Bounce so that we don't take... We untap. We draw a Swamp. Jaya's Greed. We untap. We draw... Okay, we're going to hold these... We're going to start holding land. Alrighty. Scoop it up. So versus our opponent's deck. Is there anything we want to change? Nothing that I can think of, so we're just going to run it back. We'll play first. Still a little bit slow. But we can cast a Terminate. If we draw a Swamp, we can play him. Start Mountain, pass the turn. Hoping my opponent does not start Cloud Skate again. Okay, Bane of Bala Ged. Pick up Mountain. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Sunset Pyramid. We draw. Ribbons of Night. Pass the turn. Opponent plays Saheeli. Land. That is not a land. We're going to pass turn, discarding, I think, Ribbons of Night. I shouldn't have 6, not when I have an active Terminate. Okay, opponent plays a Lonely Sandbar. We draw a Snuff Out that we can't cast. So I think we discard Dinrova Horror here. Opponent draws an extra card. Opponent plays Prismatic Lens, gets a guy. We draw Swamp. Play Swamp. Play Hedron Archive. Opponent has a counterspell. Sure. Okay, opponent's turn. Opponent plays a Riftwing Cloudskate. Gonna bounce our Carnarium, set us back significantly. I'm gonna go ahead and snuff that out. Opponent gets in for 2. We draw a Forest. I don't think that changes anything. Play Carnarium, pick up Mountain. Opponent attacks for 2. We go to 12. They play a Crater Maker. We draw Far and Away. Terminate Crater Maker. Play Mountain. Pass the turn. Opponent draws their last card off of Sunset Pyramid. Oh wait, no, they scryed. Never mind. I forgot it had a different ability. Opponent plays a Bloodfell Caves, gains a life. Gets in for 2, takes us to 10. We untap and draw Crumbling Necropolis. Play Ravenous Chupacabra. Opponent has a Supreme Will, they get another token. Pay for it, play draws a card. Has a whole Cloud Consume. Kind of wish I'd brought in that Savage Alliance now. Maybe I should have. Not gonna do it. We took some risks back, but also we were choked on mana and Riftwing Cloud. Let me tell you. Okay, what the hell was I thinking? Hi, it's been a couple of days since I got to record, and I'm looking at this deck that I built and like, what kind of fever dream craziness is this? Hopefully I'm a lot more lucid than the last match. We'll see what happens. Alrighty, here we go. Okay, we got Terminate, mana to cast it. Far and Away and Forbidden Alchemy. I'm not going to go first. They start Crumbling Necropolis. I wonder if it's the mirror mat. Play Crumbling Necropolis. Opponent plays a Forest. A Groll Sig. We will play... Pass the turn. We'll leave up Terminate and Far. Boros Garrison. Bounces a Forest. We draw Rakdos Carnir. We're not going to play the bounce land this turn. We're going to play the Swamp. Because we want to be able to Forbidden Alchemy potentially this turn. And, I mean, still want to have Terminator away. Opponent plays Migratory Route. They're going to make 4 1/1s. Okay, well that's annoying, but there's nothing we can do about that. Let's Forbidden Alchemy. Let's see, we'll have 4 mana next turn. I think we take Grave Upheaval. Because Bane of Bala Ged with haste is pretty good. Okay, opponent gets their 1/1s. We untap, we draw Shadow Mage Infiltrator. So you can play Shadow Mage Infiltrator, play Carnarium. Then we untap with 4 mana, and we can play a 5th, and we'll have access to Bituminous Blast, or Far and Away. I think that's fine. Play the Infiltrator. We'll play Rakdos Carnarium. Pick up a mountain. Pass the turn. Opponent plays an island. Has a Jaya's Greeting, sure. Attacks for 4. Okay, we draw. Snuff out. Play a mountain. Pass the turn. So we have the option of, like, Bituminous Blast, Fuse Far and Away, Terminate, Cast Away, and, like, Snuff out somewhere in there. I actually think I'm going to Far and Away, as that is going to be the most removal, most bang for our buck here. Kind of sucks that it only gets rid of 2 1/1s, but it does have their clock. Oh man, we get Force Spiked. Well, we can't pay for that. But hey, they're not going to Force Spike Grave Upheaval, which is good. Alright, we untap. We draw a swamp. I think we just go for it. Pick Bane of Bala Ged. I swear if they've got Censor. Or Daze. Alright, we get a hasty Bane of Bala Ged, but will it be enough? Attack for 7. Exilinator trigger. They exile 2 tokens. No blocks, they take 7. Opponent bolts the Bane of Bala Ged. They're going to double burn. Like Bolt Naya Charm. Bolt Regrowth Bolt. Wow. Alright, that does work. Opponent also has a Shadow Mage Infiltrator. They're going to get in for 2. Sure. So I think the play here is play a forest, terminate Shadow Mage Infiltrator, then we only have 5 mana, so we're better off just playing the majority of that with actual mana. Because the only thing we can do here is snuff out, and with as low as our life total is right now, I actually don't think I want to be alternate moding that, unless I have to. Like, if my opponent plays an Ulamog's Crusher, I'll snuff that out, probably, but... Okay, opponent gets in for 2. Sure. We go to 8. Untap. We draw an Orzhov Basilica. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I think we're going to play a swamp. Just attack. There's some world where maybe we flashback Forbidden Alchemy. But I think we're going to Bituminous Blast. Okay, opponent plays a Vivid Land. They're going to activate Cave of Temptation? No, they're casting something. Unburial Rites. Gonna get back Shadow Mage Infiltrator. Go to combat. Well, that's gonna be another turn on that one, I think. Cascade into Preordain. Not a bad hit. We passed like all of our fatties, though. Hey, what did I say about passing fatties? We're actually drawing fatties. Ooh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can get a Dinrova horror. Because we're a little bit short for like artisan. Too bad though that our opponent won't be discarding a. Oh no, we definitely get Dinrova horror here. What am I saying? Okay, untap. We draw Ribbons of Night. So, Demonic Tutor. We pick up Dinrova Horror. Play Dinrova Horror. It's too bad our opponent doesn't have a card in hand. But this is backbreaking enough. We get him. So opponent casts like 2 spells that actually impacted the board and has a lot of low damage burn for removal. I kind of want to bring in Consign to Oblivion here. And I think I like it more than Snuff Out because our opponent's just going to be like, I don't know. I don't know how many flyers they actually have, but I would consider Corrosive Gale here. I don't know. Let's just try running it like this. Alright. Any turn to him is a great one, so. Opponent starts Vivid Land. We start Crumbling Necropolis. This is actually an amazing hand. What am I talking about? Opponent plays a Cave of Temptation. And a Signet. We untap. We draw Bane of Balaged. Play a Swamp. Hymn to Turok. Opponent discards Lightning Bolt and Azorius Chancery. Those are 2 pretty good cards, I think. 3 mana. Opponent Fertile Footsteps. So they will have a giant in exile that they can cast later. But I think we made them miss their land drop for the turn with that Chancery. Okay, they get an island. Oh, they had another bounce land. They pick up Cave of Temptation. Alright, so we didn't actually slow them down all that much. Play a forest. We'll play a Leyline Prowler. Pass the turn. Are we getting oh my god, 4 spike again. Jeez. I was really hoping we could kick Grow from the Ashes this turn. Okay, opponent plays a Nomad Outpost. We know they're holding a Cave of Temptation. We draw Rakdos Carnarium. Alright, Grow from the Ashes. Let's get a Swamp. Play Carnarium. Pick up a Swamp. Pass the turn. Porter, stay out of there, bub. Opponent casts the Giant. It's a 5/5. We draw Swamp. Play a Swamp. Pass the turn. So opponent's going to get in a big hit here. Opponent plays a Jungle Hollow, gains a life. Gets in for 6, we go to 14. Untap. Draw Forest. Play a Forest. Cast Bane of Balaged. Pass the turn. We're guaranteed at least 2 swings unless our opponent has removal. Opponent attacks for 6, sure. No blocks. We go to 8. Big mana plays. What do they got? Oh my goodness. Ulamog's Crusher. Well, that's good. So we consign, go to combat, attack for 7. Opponent has to exile 2 permanents they control. This shrinks their giant by at least 1. Okay. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana, so they can't just recast Ulamog's Crusher here. So then we Oblivion. First we play a land, just in case there's a daze. Pass the turn. They discard Crusher and Giant. We do kind of need... I guess I could reanimate the Leyline Prowler. Oh, wait a minute. From a graveyard onto the battlefield, we could take Crusher. Enlisted Worm into a Signet. The problem is if we reanimate Crusher, it has to attack, and that's... Okay, opponent gets in for 5, takes us to 3. We draw... We could second main phase, animate Crusher. We could also attack, make them exile. But now they'd have at least 4 lands. We either reanimate this, which I guess would answer one of their creatures. It feels like such a... I guess it's not if it keeps us alive, but we really need to draw like a turn. So, reanimate Leyline Prowler. Play land. Pass the turn. If our opponent has removal, Flame Tongue Kavu, I believe that counts. So had we reanimated Crusher, we would have actually stayed... Oops. I wanted to actually see what my next card was. Would have been better to have gotten the Crusher, but maybe we should be playing Unmake. It's kind of tough on the mana, though. I guess that means we should be playing Snuff Out, because they have some really, really beefy boys. So I'm going to drop Preordain, which kind of feels like Harry. We could take Active Aggression if they get a Crusher and just threaten it. Alright, we'll just try it like this. Okay, we'll play first. That is not a good hand. I think I can work with... Put back a Swamp. Start Swamp. Pass the turn. What are you whining for? What's over there? Can you show me? Opponent starts Crumbling Necropolis. We play Rupture Spire. Pay 1 for it. Pass the turn. Whining about. Opponent plays a Signet. We draw Golgari Rot Farm, which we will play. Bounce the Swamp. Pass the turn. Will bring me the ball. Opponent plays a Chancery. So this is like do-nothing deck championship right now. No one's going to play anything until turn 5. We get far and away. Play an island. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a Blossoming Sands. Gains 1. So now the question is, do we draw 5 and discard 5? Kind of want to. After all, we get to pick what we discard, so... Oh my goodness. So we need to discard a couple of lands. We won't need a second island. Probably won't need this forest. We can discard Bane of Balaged. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to discard 2 more cards. I'm guessing a Swamp, and then our worst removal spell, which is probably Ribbons of Night. Okay. We untap, we draw Hedron Archive. So play a mountain. Play Hedron Archive. We could Demonic Tutor now, but I kind of like keeping up away if our opponent plays something big. Opponent plays Denrova Horror. They're going to make us discard again. Bouncing our bounce land. Man, that's rude. So opponent has to sack Denrova Horror. Bounce our bounce land. I guess we discard Tutor. We're going to draw whatever we need to draw eventually, and these are going to slow our opponent way down. Maybe we discard Terminate. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana total. So we're a little off tutoring for an Eldrazi. I'm going to take a risk and discard Terminate. You are fine. Go lay down. Okay, we draw our own Dinrova Horror, which we are 1 mana short from casting. So, play Rot Farm. Pick up Mountain. Go Demonic Tutoring. So we should probably get our reanimation spell, I think. Now let's try that. Why did I move this way over here? Wooburg. 5 mana. Unburial Rites, are you kidding me? Ugh! The double bounce land bounce. And we still have to discard. Well, I guess we discard Dinrova Horror. Worst part is if we kill it, they just do it again. Oh, that sucks. Jesus. I don't know that I have a good answer for that. Play Prismatic Lens. Problem is we don't have another black source. Play Rot Farm. Pick up Island. Pass the turn. Oh, man. That really sucks. I'm just going to get in for 4. They don't. They play a Signet instead. We untap, we draw Hymn to Turok. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we play an island and cast Grave Upheaval. We're safe from a Force Spike. That's probably our best bet. I guess a Mountain. Getting back Bane of Balaged. I really hope they don't have instant speed removal. Alright, it resolves. Go to combat. Abzan Charm, the jerk. Alright. Trying real hard not to use this Chupacabra right now because this Unburial Rites would really, really hurt. Take 4, go to 16. Let me draw Artisan of Kozilek. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope. Let me draw Ulamog's Crusher. Let me amend that statement. Opponent gets an island. Plays an island. We draw a forest. Let's take a little bit of a risk here. And him, our opponent. We could make them discard something really huge that they could just Unburial Rites. Thankfully, we did not. Control Magic and Branching Bolt. Well, Branching Bolt not so much, but Control Magic is a thing I'm happy to see my opponent discard. Alright, pass the turn. Okay, now we can draw Artisan of Kozilek. You are fine. Gonna go into combat. Gonna get in for 6. Sure, we'll take it and go to 10. Opponent playing something else big. Oh, there he is. Crusher himself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We could crack Hedron Archive, but we've used most of our good removal, I think. Let's see what we draw. Nothing. Alright, black, black, green, green. Ravenous Chupacabra. Take out the Crusher. Play an island. Pass the turn. I think we do have to crack Hedron Archive now. Even if there's nothing particularly amazing we can hit. Okay, opponent plays a tap land. Flame Tongue Kavu. Okay. Down goes Ravenous Chupacabra. Opponent gets in for 6. I don't think we have anything that can save us here. Maybe Artisan, if we could cast it somehow. Pristine Talisman and Crusher. That does not do it. Especially not if our opponent has a Migratory Route. Nope, Unburial Rites Crusher. Let's see, Death Sprout. We can play a Forest. We can play Pristine Talisman, go up to 5. We can kill an 8/8 and take 10. Alternatively, we lose, so yeah. Well, damn it! I was really hoping after that first game that we were going to get somewhere, because this deck was sweet, and our opponent is playing effectively the same deck we are, just with slightly different cards. And a little heavier color requirements. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm going to take the dog out. Alrighty. See you guys in round 3. Alrighty, here we go. Alright, we'll play first. This seems fair, we'll keep. Okay, start swamp, pass the turn. I guess technically I should have started island in case I drew Preordain. Didn't think about that. Opponent plays plains. And a Healer's Hawk. We draw a Rakdos Carnarium. Well, play Carnarium. Pick up the swamp. This will give us access to Terminate next turn. Opponent plays the swamp. Gets in for 1. We take it. 19, 21. no twos for our opponent. We draw Prismatic Lens. So we play an island, pass the turn. Opponent plays a swamp. Healer's Hawk makes me think they're either supposed to be very aggressive or that they go tall. One of the two. In either way, I think holding up Terminate is correct. Lingering Souls. Okay. This feels kind of bad, but I'm going to terminate the 1/1. Just to keep the clock a little bit slower. Okay, we untap. We draw Bituminous Blast. So, play Prismatic Lens. Play Orzhov Basilica. Pick up Island. Pass the turn. Opponent plays an Arcane Sanctum. Could be for a splash. Could just be a tapped Orzhov land. Not sure. Opponent gets in for 2. Does not flashback Lingering Souls. Interesting. We're going to play a Swamp. I don't want to Chupacabra a token, but I think I will blast a token. Okay, opponent's going to go attacking. We'll take 2. Flashes back Lingering. Alright. Bituminous Blast a token. Cascade. We hit Leyline Prowler. Not the worst hit in the world. Is that literally the first card? It was. Okay. Take out a 1/1. We draw a Rupture Spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So let's... Oh, we guess we technically have 8. Get in for 2. Start gaining some life back. Play Rupture Spire. Do we Chupacabra a token? I think I'm gonna. Take out the token. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Vivid Meadow for 2 no blocks. Hey, go away. Opponent is deep in the tank. He's trying to get me to throw it from that side now. Prison Realm. Opponent's thinking about... Probably takes out the lifelinker. Yeah, okay. So that takes away the Demonic Tutor. We might still Demonic Tutor anyway. Alright, we draw Ulamog's Krasha. Play an island. Get in for 2. And then I guess we cast the Crushinator. Pass the turn, it resolves. I imagine our opponent has some other kind of hard removal. They haven't played a lot of things all game. So, opponent plays a Plains. Gets in for 2. Got like, Mutilate wouldn't do it. I was trying to think of, Mutilate's also a rare. I don't know if they have any Wraths in this format. They have an Unmake. It's kind of unfortunate. I was hoping it would be like a Murder. Bastion of Remembrance. Okay. We untap, we draw Dinrova Horror, which is kind of sweet. So play a Swamp. Play Dinrova Horror. Bounce token. So opponent loses their token and has to discard a card. It discard Chainer's Edict. Alright, we're going to go ahead and Demonic Tutor. And we are going to get probably Artisan of Kozilek. If we had one more mana, I would consider just him to Turok and get him empty-handed, but like, We're going to pick up Artisan of Kozilek. Hopefully our opponent does not have their own hymn or Mind Rot effect. Opponent takes 2, goes to 15. Falcon Wrath Noble. Opponent gets in for 2. Expected removal. There might still be removal. Okay, opponent dismembers Dinrova Horror, which is exactly what we imagined was going to happen here. So opponent is going to lose their last card in hand, and we are going to get an Artisan of Kozilek. And we draw a Bane of Balaged. Artisan of Kozilek, reanimate Dinrova Horror. Yeah, ultimate value. Bounce a token. Opponent discards their last card in hand. Mortify. Oh, excellent. And we get an Artisan. Get in with Choops. Take our opponent to 12. Opponent top decks. Adonto Vanguard. Well then. They're going to get in for 2 in the air, sure. We untap, draw Grave Upheaval. We could take Healer's Hawk. Oh gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If we draw a basic land off Ancient Excavation, we can get a hasted Bane of Balaged this turn. That's gotta be worth it, right? Alright. We get 2 cards. 2 draws to draw a basic land. Dang. No basic land. So we're going to discard Bane of Balaged and Forbidden Alchemy. Go to combat. Attack for 14. Opponent annihilates 2. Problem is, our opponent's going to get us at a very low life total, and we might kill ourselves because they're going to hit us for at least 3. We go to 5. I guess it depends. Well, they have to block. They're sacrificing Prison Realm. They're going to give us back our lifelinker? That can't be right. I think you'd sack lands at this position. Porter, go lay down. You don't need to be over there. Go on. That's near insulation and stuff. Go on. Go lay down. Trying to chase the shadows. Opponent sacks a Spirit. don't think that's right either. They sack a spirit and prison realm. Okay. I'm confused. I don't know if that was the right thing to do. Opponent pays 4 life, keeps their Vanguard. Goes to 6. So we play a Shadow Mage Infiltrator and pass. This is whenever another creature dies. Field of Souls. Whenever a non-token creature is put in the graveyard, make from your or into your graveyard from the battlefield, make a 1/1 Spirit with Fly. Okay. Opponent attacks for 2. That's fine. Yeah, I think we got him. Just hasten this Bane of Balaged. Oh, you know what? If we annihilate, we lose. Because they just sack 2 creatures. I guess we should have played the Pristine Talisman. But we can't attack with Artisan of Kozilek. We have to attack like this. Because this exiles doesn't make them sack. I think they were looking for us to be a sack outlet to get the last reach there. Because if they sacked both of their creatures, we would have taken 4. Alright, we got it. Is that game 1? That was a long game 1. Alright, so our opponent is playing a deck that has a lot of 1 mana, or 1 toughness creatures. I actually think we're going to bring in Savage Alliance. They make a lot of spirits, so I think Corrosive Gale as well. Could bring in Stagger Shock. Flame Jab seems like I'm going a little deep for a deck that's not that red. I want to cut Snuff out. A lot of their creatures are black, and or we wouldn't want to pay 4 life to kill them. What else do we take out? Kind of not liking Ancient Excavation, but it's one of the only ways we can get cards into the grave if we want them in the grave. I'm going to take out Preordain. I'll try it like this. Okay, I can work with this. We'll keep. When it starts tap land, start swamp, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Vivid Meadow, passes. We draw Corrosive Gale, play Rot Farm, pick up Swamp. Oh shoot, we have to discard. Alright, that wasn't very smart. I'm going to discard a Forest. I should have probably just played a land, played Prismatic Lens, and saved a bounce land for a later turn, but our opponent is not doing much. We'll play a Swamp, play Leyline Prowler, pass the turn. When it plays a Plains, four mana, opponent has a Torment of Scarabs. Alright, I think we're fine to lose some life here. We draw a forest. Play a mountain. Play Prismatic Lens. And get in for 2. I like this card. Like, I really do. I would even try and play it in Modern. But the problem is, the person you play it on can do what I just did, and if they have a high life total, they'll just keep paying life, because they don't need it. So opponent plays a swamp. Opponent plays the Eldest Reborn. Oh man, so now they've like transitioned into some kind of like Staxy type deck. Alright. So we untap. We're going to lose 3 more life. We draw Orzhov Basilica. Play Basilica. Bounce the swamp. Pass the turn. The opponent's going to make us discard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't want to discard lands, but I think I have to discard a land here. I'm going to discard that swamp. I'm kind of looking to far and away when my opponent reanimates a Leyline Prowler, so we can bounce that back to our own hand and then make them sack a creature. Okay, opponent gets a Vampire Nighthawk. And a Lampad of Death's Vigil. We untap. We lose 3 life. We draw Bane of Bala Ged. Now, that seems like a good enough card to play as any. Play Bane of Bala Ged. Pass the turn. Oh no. Well, our opponent can reanimate this, but same plan. We're going to far and away. I'm glad this doesn't give it haste or anything nuts like that. This card's already, like, tons of value. So opponent's going to reanimate Bane of Bala Ged. They play a tap land. And they play a Falcon Wrath Noble. Okay, we take 3. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Would like to Corrosive Gale for 3. That would leave us with 4 mana. I think we just... Let's discard Ravenous Chupacabra. Can we draw Forbidden Alchemy? So we have to answer Bane of Bala Ged this turn. We could Corrosive Gale for 3, and then just bounce Bane of Bala Ged. I think that would be fine. And we can do it without losing life, too. So, Corrosive Gale X3. Opponent can sack both of their flyers. Get a little extra damage that way. Wrong order, though. Yeah, they could have gotten one more damage out of that. And we should really be at 6. Okay, Corrosive Gale resolves. So then let's far. Bounce Bane of Balaged. Pass the turn. Problem is, I think the only way we have to gain life is Leyline Prowler and Cut to Ribbons. When it gets in for 1, takes us to 6. We untap. We're going to discard Forbidden Alchemy. We draw Shadow Mage Infiltrator. Okay, well, Bane of Balaged, carry us to victory. Opponent untaps. They draw. And they play an Aerial Responder. That's actually pretty horrendous for us. We discard Shadow Mage Infiltrator. We draw a Swamp. Go to combat. Attack for 7. You have to exile 2 permanents. Okay, exiled 2 lands. No blocks, they take 7. Play a Swamp. And we play an Ulamog's Crusher. Okay. Opponent untaps. They get a Prison Realm. Oh man, okay. So they get to scry. They're exiling Crusher. Opponent can take us to 1 this turn, if they wanted. And they put it on the bottom. Okay. Opponent gets in for 3. Takes us to 3. They go up to 14. They pass. We untap. Sack Prismatic Lens. We draw Savage Alliance. We do 2 damage to a creature, 1 damage to all creatures they control. So they can sack it, make us lose a life. They still get us, though. Because we could get around the Torment of Scarabs without sacking Bane of Balaged by flashing back Forbidden Alchemy. But we go to 2. This means we can't attack with Bane this turn, and we're dead to any creature. Okay, no attacks from our opponent. They play a land. We untap. Forbidden Alchemy. Oh no! We wanted these cards. Both of them would have been able to take us out somewhat. Yeah, there's no way we can keep any of these. So we pick up a Swamp. Torment of Scarabs. We discard it immediately. We draw a Forest. Pass the turn. Opponent has to have a couple of dead draws in a row, and we have to draw something. I think our Reanimation spell. Opponent plays a Bastion of Remembrance, and that's game. Because I just sack anything and we die. Yep. Alright, game 3. Come on, we want to win 1, don't we? Is this non-land permanent? It is. kind of like Consign to Oblivion to be able to answer some of the problem permanents we're seeing here. Corrosive Gale actually was still useful that game, despite the fact that it did not hit a bunch of tokens as we anticipated. So if I want to bring in Consign to Oblivion, I need to take out probably Death Sprout. Okay. We'll play first. We can't cast this Shadow Mage Infiltrator, but we do have a Terminate. I think this hand will work. Play a Swamp, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Nomad Outpost. We untap. We draw a Swamp. Play Carnarium. Bounce the Swamp. Pass the turn. We'd like to draw an island the most. Opponent plays a Plains. Passes. We draw Artisan of Kozilek. It's a little ways off from an island, I think. Play a Swamp. Pass the turn. Leave up Terminate. Opponent plays a Plains. And a Bastion of Remembrance. I think I will terminate this token. We lose a life, they gain a life. We untap. Draw Leyline Prowler. So play Leyline Prowler. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Swamp. And a Torment of Scarabs. Okay, Torment of Scarabs trigger. We lose 3 life. We draw a Rupture Spire. Play a Swamp. Play Hedron Archive. Blue, black, colorless, and play a Shadow Mage Infiltrator. Okay, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Vivid Meadow. Well, I got something. Unmake Shadow Mage Infiltrator. Well, it's not the worst thing they could have unmade. Okay, so we're going to lose 3 life and draw Forest. Do we crack this to draw cards? I don't feel like when you're holding an Eldrazi that's the right thing to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We could cast Artisan here. But if they have another piece of premium removal, we're not getting the reanimation. Do we just have to do that? I think so. Play Artisan of Kozilek, no extra value. Pass the turn. Opponent probably has a Prison Realm. Mortify. Okay. Well, we could still reanimate that. There are ways. Opponent cycles a Secluded Step and passes. We untap, lose 3 life, and draw Swamp. So crack Hedron Archive. We draw Ulamog's Crusher, which is good. We'll play a Rupture Spire. Pay for it. And get in for 2 with Lifelink. Take our opponent to 19, go up to 12. 5 mana, opponent plays Eldest Reborn. Sure. We sack Leyline Prowler. Untap. We're going to discard a Forest. We draw Corrosive Gale. Play a Swamp. Play Ulamog's Crusher. Pass the turn. Kind of sucks that our opponent's going to be able to get this Artisan of Kozilek unless we get Grave Betrayal. Okay, so opponent makes us discard. We discard a Mountain. I don't need any more mana at this point. Opponent plays a Plains. Kind of hoping they just go like Lingering Souls, Flashback Lingering Souls to try and make a bunch of blockers. 4 mana. 5 mana. Vampire Sovereign. We lose 3, they gain 3. Okay, well, we need some hard removal. We're going to lose 3 life. That is not hard removal. Okay. Corrosive Gale, X4. Opponent loses Vampire Sovereign. We get pinged for 1. Go to combat. Ulamog's Crusher must attack. Opponent sacks 2 lands. Takes 8. Alright, they untap. You get to reanimate. Reanimate Vampire Sovereign. Okay. That probably just means we're dead to Bastion of Remembrance. Aerial Responder for our opponent. Okay, so they have 2 lethal creatures, and we have no pressure whatsoever. So we discard a forest, we draw Gurmag Angler, and Angler isn't going to do it. Oh, no! Oh, no. Wow. That did not turn out how I'd hoped. I liked our deck. Our deck was sweet. Well, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more like it, let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you'd like. And feel free to subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. I'd greatly appreciate it if you did. Remember, you can always catch me on Twitch. The same username there is on here if you want to catch me streaming live. We've been having some pretty good streams lately, and probably the day that this goes up, I'll be streaming at 6 o'clock-ish Mountain Daylight Time, I think. I never remember if it's Mountain Standard or Mountain Daylight Time, whatever Utah's in. But yeah, I hope I see some of you guys there. And if you watched this far, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.